Hello, everyone, and good evening from this part of the world. Good morning to those if you've just woken up. This is another part of the Spiritual Awakening series that has been going on, the video messages that have been going on, and I wanted to talk to you today about the joy of spiritual awakening, which I feel is losing its glory because we are all getting so carried away by the many different stages of the awakening process that involves healing, that involves facing and confronting issues, that also involves a lot of things, like, where you start realizing that you're more sensitive to the environment, to the world at large, So I just wanted to tell you one thing. I mean, as far as people are concerned, we have never really been content. That is something to do with the ego. That you're never really content with life, no matter where you are in life. We always want more. We want to see what's more. What more is there? That's what we keep doing. We always strive to look at what else is there. You're never really happy with what you have inside you. We always keep looking for more. Now, as far as spirituality is concerned, the community as such is all about raising an awareness that there is so much more to life than just reality. We look beyond our senses. We look beyond this world, this dimension. And the experiences that unfold as a part of the spiritual awakening process involves many things. Now, one thing I realized over the years, especially last year, was during the shift, every time there is a shift, every time there is a full moon, every time that, a retrograde happens, everybody goes into, most people at least I know, go into a sense of panic mode. It's like an epidemic, where people start to panic and they try to see if anything can really go wrong or anything has gone wrong during that phase. Now, I would like to say one thing. What works for some people may not work. Does not only apply for techniques in meditation and the way you approach your spirituality. It also applies to the signs that you get. It also applies to the way your body responds to the different stages of a spiritual awakening. And one thing I realize is that we all miss something. The whole point of spiritual awakening. Where is the joy, really? What happens to the joy in your soul when you have an awakening? I don't see many people having that. People are half the time complaining about how they no longer get along with people they used to, and then they say that I'm being too sensitive, and this world is, I'm being too sensitive. I feel like as an empath, I'm having issues, and then some people have issues developing the gifts. They want to know why they aren't moving fast enough or why things are moving too fast. Why don't we all just pause for a second and think of where we are today as opposed to where we were before all of this started happening? Where is the joy in spirituality? What happened to the joy in your soul? You're supposed to be celebrating your soul during a spiritual awakening, and not the other way around. You're not supposed to sit there and regret that, this isn't moving fast enough, or that isn't moving fast enough. Things don't have to move fast enough. Things don't have to always be, right. What were your expectations? Did you have really high expectations of a spiritual awakening? Did you expect magic overnight, that suddenly you'll become this I don't know, some supernatural being of light that no longer fits into the world? The spiritual experience, the spiritual awakening, is supposed to bring you deeper into life, a deeper understanding of life. It is not meant to take you away from reality. This is not an escapism. It's not a little cave that you build for yourself and you just vanish into. And why did anyone even think that, being an empath is a painful experience? Nothing was ever created to inflict pain as far as the spiritual process is concerned. It's there to every process in a spiritual awakening is created to give love into yourself, to love your soul, to love your very being, to love this dimension, to love the very process of your existence, the one consciousness. Why are you not celebrating that? What is wrong with us? When will we ever have enough to feel that joy? When are we ever going to be celebrating ourselves? We all need to move into a different mode of celebrating our souls. People who have, just put yourself in the position of those who are not awakened. They don't even know half the things you do. They don't have the experiences that you do have. Now let me tell you one thing. Unlike everything else we go through in an incarnation, where maybe you have you have birth, and then you have death, and then you have everything in between. Unlike that, a spiritual awakening of this kind happens just once in a soul's entire existence. So enjoy it. All right, enjoy every little thing that you learn about your spiritual awakening. Enjoy the ability to explore yourself. Every little thing. You had a vision today? Great, fantastic. Don't sit there and start mourning about it. Don't start thinking, oh my God, what is that about? Now that's frightening. And if you experience something like you have goosebumps and you feel some presence in your room or something, and then you start wondering, oh, there's something wrong with me, and you go online and you see a million different interpretations of your experience, you start comparing yourself to all the experiences everything you read about on the internet. Why don't you make yourself why don't you find the joy in this experience? It doesn't mean that I was in any way immune to dark entities. It does not mean that I've always loved my spiritual experiences. I've had my struggles. I've struggled it since I was 2 years old. But I've learned to celebrate my existence. I've learned to love everything. I've learned to have gratitude, What some people say, okay, that there are quite a few people who came up to me and said, when you even complain of, say, you're dizzy or you're sleepy and you're tired and there are different things that you go through, and then they try and go online and see that 10 people would have said, look, I'm sleepy today and I probably have a headache and I don't feel so well, it's probably the Mercury retrograde, and you would be like, oh yes. You know what that happens to your mind? You know what that does to your mind? You're attracting it. You're adding more energy into something that probably never was supposed to be that way. Right? Now, a full moon happens every month. A full moon happens every month. It's probably happened even before you even realize that it has any effect on you. I'm not saying that it does not have any effect on you, or it should not. I'm saying that don't condition your mind into believing that someone else's experience is also yours. I'm not saying that you will not experience it. I'm not saying that you're supposed to be immune to it and you should celebrate the fact that, that these things can't happen to you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that have some joy into your life. The spiritual awakening is such an amazing experience, every little bit of it. If you think you're an empath and you are absorbing too much of energy from people around you, why don't you look at the brighter side of things? You're able to feel their emotions. You don't need to stare at a child who's covered in blood and bruises on TV for you to feel empathetic about human life. What about those people who are around you? Does it have to be tragic for you to feel empathetic and say, okay, I'm feeling really sad now? Why don't you feel empathetic about the people around you? What's wrong with that? If you have major issues with that, wear a quartz crystal. Find something that will kind of reduce the effect. But that's a gift. How can you not appreciate a gift? And some of us, you think that you're developing too slowly. We lose our patience. Did you ever realize that you didn't have these gifts at one point? And how were you then? You were fine. You were fine. So now when things start happening, you want things to hurry up. Why? Because everything in your life is faster. You have a faster car, you have a faster phone, you have a faster life, so you want a faster spiritual life. That's not how it works. You can do anything in the world you want, but that's not how it works. If you want to become a healer, you got to work at it. You've got to work at it. Don't just look at the glory. Never look at someone's glory alone. Look at the work that went behind that glory. It's easy to compare someone else with yourself, someone who's doing well. But you know what? Behind that glory, behind all that glitter and glamour and success and fame or whatever you call it, there was probably back-breaking work for years and years and years. While you were busy working with your career, while you were busy doing whatever you were doing, that person was working day and night for 16 or 18 hours, 7 days a week for 20, 30 years to get where she or he is today. So you put in that much of effort, and just like any other muscle, your gifts will start working too, my friend. So it takes back-breaking work. It's not an overnight thing. There are no shortcuts to spirituality, there never will be. If you want a better set of clairvoyance, you want a better third eye, you got to work at it. If you want to be able to hear and communicate with your guides, you got to work at it. But do it with joy. Don't take it as some kind of chore. Don't take it as some kind of chore. And look at it with the eyes of a child. Innocence, beauty, be in awe of everything. Don't take it as a job. If you want to become a healer, it's not just about going out there, grabbing the nearest Reiki course and going through it for what? I don't even know how a Reiki course works or how long it takes for you to master it. But I think nowadays it's become like an instant thing. 1 month down the line, you're a Reiki master. I don't even know what a Reiki master is. Is it really that simple? I thought energy was the main source. When did techniques, all about learning techniques alone, qualify you? Everything is so beautiful if you make it out to be. If you're patient enough. Patience is the biggest gift that you can gift yourself in this lifetime. Not just in spirituality, but in everything. Just try being patient. You can ask me to wait for anything in this world and I would. Because I know that at the end of the day, I will, whenever it is the time is right, I will get what I deserve. And you will be duly rewarded. And the kind of rewards that you're talking about that the other dimensions gift you is way, way bigger than anything this dimension can gift you. So have patience and celebrate your spiritual experience. Every little bit of it. Don't get carried away by other people's experiences. Don't compare yourself to other people. You are unique and you're beautiful, and your experience and your journey as a soul is unique like your fingerprints. Cherish every moment you have because it's never coming back. Whoever said that if you're the higher you go up the spiritual ladder, the better it gets, you get amazing experiences? No. You get bigger challenges. You want to know how big a challenge mine are? Go ask people who are really close to me. They're right here in this room right now. Go ahead. Ask those people how big my challenges are. You wouldn't even want to step in my shoes. I can assure you that. It's not any easier. No. It never gets easier when you move up the ladder. You get more responsibilities, bigger challenges. I am scared of my responsibilities, to be very honest. I am scared with the kind of responsibilities that are thrown my way. If some of you have noticed how many hours a day I work, you will also notice how many things I put out every day. It's not just about readings. It's not just about readings anymore. I'm not just a reader anymore. I don't think I ever will be. But that was my passion. I loved one-on-one contact. But as you move up, you're given more things to do, things that you may not like to do. So don't put yourself, in somebody else's shoes and say, that person's doing better, this person's doing better, I wish I could do this, but you can. Nothing is out of reach, really. Nothing is out of reach. You can get better than the best person out there if you put your heart and mind and soul to it. But please be joyful about this. This is not something that you really struggle with. The easier you take this, the better it gets. The more patience you apply to it, the better it gets. The more joy you put into this process of awakening, the better it gets. Create as little ripples as possible, and you will see over time how much more beautiful, how much more spectacular this experience of awakening spiritually is. Thank you so much, and God bless you. I'll see you in the next video message. God bless you. Namaste.